Are mass layoff the new normal in this tech industry? In 2023, we saw there have been around 250,000 jobs being cut. The trend is continuing. 2024, we are seeing around 50 to 60,000 jobs being cut as of now. The year still is going on. But at the same time, there is another survey which says the job market is going to increase. The demand is going to increase by 17% in 2024. Now, what's happening? At one segment, we are seeing layoff, we are seeing hiring freeze. Another segment, there is an increase in demand. What's happening? The reason being, companies are not focusing more on the traditional segment, but now are shifting towards domains like digital transformations, cyber security, enterprise skill sets, as well as on places like e-commerce and fintech. There is also focus of companies towards some emerging technologies, like say for example, Gen AI, AI/ML with Gen AI coming to picture, Gen AI creeping into all the domains, starting from HR tech to fintech, data science side of it. There is a high demand for people in Gen AI. There is a high demand for people who are working on LLM models for the Gen AI, video to text kind of a domain, text to video, text to picture kind of a domain. All this Gen AI, there is always a high demand coming up in the market. Also blockchain. There is a demand for blockchain, with blockchain creeping into not just cryptocurrency. Now it's moving to fintech, logistics, and there are demand people working on the layers of blockchain. So this specific emerging technologies is actually increasing the demand for that particular segment. So it's always advisable to software engineers to also create an expertise around this and focus on where the job market is actually increasing, rather than being stagnant on places where the hiring freeze or companies are not investing into. At the same time, if you see from a company's perspective, companies are slowly moving towards a flexible hiring model, right? So initially it was purely hiring people on a full-time basis, getting them on board, spending time on training for them, making them evolve career around that, right? But now they are slowly moving to it. Like for example, let's take Gen AI. Company wants to invest on Gen AI, but at the same time they don't want to take the risk of hiring a person. So they are moving towards options like staff augmentation, where the risk is less, but at the same time they can invest on the particular talent. They can get the right talent into places. So this kind of flexible hiring models, where the options are given for companies to invest on with less risk, is coming up in the market. The contract, freelancing and staff augmentation industry is bound to increase this current market trend. Also skill requirements, like this new generations, new emerging technologies coming to picture, company wants to invest on it, and this creates new jobs. Jobs which were not there earlier 5 years before are now being created with specified skill sets coming into picture. These skill sets are now in high demand. Like say for example, people who are good in terms of blockchains, people who are into data science, people who are into cyber security, they will see an increase in the job trend, increase in the demand for them, because companies are investing on it. Other side of it, there can be a stagnant because companies are going slow around that. The challenges in terms of hiring this talent remains the same. Just like how we had challenges of finding this candidate, just like how the companies had challenges in terms of retaining this candidate, attracting this right talent, it still remains the same, specifically where the demand is actually increasing. So companies are also trying to increase it. Companies are coming up with lucrative offers to attract talent. Companies are trying to come up with new ways by which they can recruit talent, not just by the traditional job boards, but by hackathons, by tech talks, by community reach, by specialized communities like Kaggle, where they go in and try to get the right candidate. Also specifically try to understand and get these candidates in a very risk-free manner, like in a contract or a freelancing kind of thing. So these jobs are going to increase, whereas the trend of 2024 looks like the other job market is going to be stagnant, where the traditional open source can be slow, but the emerging technologies is definitely going to be increasing.